Hello everyone, I'm Teacher Ayan and welcome back for another video tutorial in Math 9. For this video, we will focus on solving problems involving the relationships of sides and angles in parallelograms, trapezoids, and kites using their properties and different theorems. Guys, it is important that we need to remember all the definitions, properties, and theorems that we have already discussed regarding parallelograms, trapezoids, and kites. Kasi ito po yung magiging basis natin para mas madali natin maintindihan o ma-solve yung mga problem. Okay, pero kung hindi nyo pa napanood yung mga video na yon, don't worry, I will put the link in the description box. Okay? Okay, so these are the problems that you are going to solve in your learner's packet. Pero guys, papalitan ko lang ang mga given sa bawat problem. Ganitong-ganito, yung mga given lang talaga yung papalitan ko. So, para masubukan nyo rin i-solve. Okay? So, gawin nyo lang po itong guide. Okay, so let's start. So, directions, illustrate and solve the following problems. Okay, so kailangan natin siyang i-illustrate kasi mas madali kasi i-solve ang problems kung na-illustrate natin kasi mas nakakagawa tayo ng paraan kung paano natin i-solve o kung mas naiintindihan natin yung problem. Okay, so let us start sa problem number 1. Two consecutive sides of a parallelogram measure 7 meters and 15 meters respectively. What is the perimeter of the parallelogram? Okay, so first, let's draw a parallelogram. Okay, so dito sa problem, when we say two consecutive sides, ibig sabihin magkasunod na sides. So, pwedeng itong side na to, tsaka ito, o kaya itong side, tsaka dito, alin man dyan, basta magkasunod na side. Okay, so ang measure ng shorter side, so obviously, dahil ang given measure lang naman dito ay 7 meters at saka 15 meters, obviously, yung 7, ito yung sa shorter side ng parallelogram at yung longer side naman ay yung 15 meters. And to get the perimeter of the parallelogram, we have to get the product of two lengths plus the product of two widths. Okay, so because we have here two lengths and two widths. Okay, so now, isa-substitute lang natin ang mga given na ito dito sa formula ng perimeter. Okay, so multiply lang natin ang 2 sa length natin, which is 15, and then 2 times yung width natin, which is 7. So, 2 times 15 is 30, 2 times 7 is 14, and then get the sum, so yun yung magiging perimeter natin. Okay, so perimeter is equals to 44 meters. So, therefore, the perimeter of the parallelogram is 44 meters. Okay, problem number 2. One diagonal of a square measures 3x plus 5 inches, and if the other diagonal measures 14 inches, what is x? Okay, first, let's draw a square. At ang isang diagonal daw niya, measure ay 3x plus 5 inches. Tapos, ang isang diagonal naman ay 14 inches. So, ano ang value ng x? Okay, so sa property ng square, at kung makikita nyo dito sa ating illustration, ang diagonal ng square ay congruent. That means, diagonal 1 is congruent to diagonal 2. Okay, so isa-substitute lang natin yung mga given dyan. So, ang unang diagonal natin ay 3x plus 5 is equal to diagonal 2, which is 14 inches. Okay, so as you can see, linear equation na siya. And to solve a linear equation, we have to combine the linear term and the constant term. Okay, so here, ang linear term natin is 3x. So, bring down lang natin. And then, yung constant term natin is 5 and 14. So, ililipat lang natin tong positive 5 dito sa right side ng equation para makombine dito sa 14. So, bring down 14 and then positive 5 magiging negative 5. Okay, so 3x then 14 minus 5 is equals 9. And then divide both sides by the coefficients of x, which is 3. So 3 divided by 3 is equals to x and 9 divided by 3 is equals to 3. Okay, so therefore, the value of x in this problem is equals to 3. Okay, let's have problem number 3. Given trapezoid QRST with side QR is parallel to side PS and segment UV as the median. If the measure of side QR is equals to 15 centimeters and the measure of side PS is equals to 27 centimeters, what is the measure of side UV? Okay, so first, let's draw a trapezoid QRST with QR is parallel to side PS. So, this two arrowhead indicates that these two sides are parallel and UV or segment UV as the median of this trapezoid. Okay, so these two parallel sides in a trapezoid is called the bases. So the measure of the first base, which is yung QR, is equals to 15 centimeters, and the second base, which is yung TS, is equal to 27 centimeters. What is the measure of segment UV, which is the median? Okay, so recall lang natin doon sa midpoint theorem of trapezoid, it states that the median of the trapezoid is parallel to each base and its length is 1/2 the sum of the lengths of the bases. Okay, ibig sabihin, to get the measure of segment UV, we need to get the sum of the bases, which is yung QR plus TS, and then divide it by 2. Okay, so isa-substitute lang natin itong mga given. Okay, so take note, UV is our median at yun yung hinahanap natin. Okay, so substitute lang natin, yung QR is equals to 15 centimeters plus yung TS natin, which is 27, and divided by 2. So 15 plus 27 is equals to 42 divided by 2. So UV is equals to 21 centimeters. So therefore, the median or the measure of segment UV is equals to 21 centimeters. Next, problem number 4. An isosceles trapezoid with diagonal that measures 50 centimeters and one leg measures 28 centimeters. What is the length of the other diagonal? Okay, let's draw first an isosceles trapezoid. And these two markings indicates that these two legs are congruent in measure. Okay, it says in the problem that the diagonal measure 50 centimeters and one leg measures 28 centimeters. So kung 28 ito, dahil congruent itong dalawang legs na to, so ibig sabihin itong kabilang legs ay 28 centimeters din. Okay, so what is the length of the other diagonal? So ito. So ito yung hahanapin natin yung measure. Okay, so recall lang natin na ang isang property ng isosceles trapezoid ay yung diagonals niya, this one, okay, yung diagonals niya daw ay congruent. Okay, so ibig sabihin, diagonal 1 is congruent to diagonal 2 or diagonal 2 is congruent to diagonal 1. So, inuna ko lang dito yung diagonal 2 dahil yun yung hahanapin natin. So, assume natin na yung unang given ay diagonal 1 at diagonal 2 yung hahanapin natin. Okay? Okay, so tapos, isa-substitute lang natin yung given. So, yung diagonal 2, yun yung hinahanap natin. Then, yung diagonal 1 daw ay 50 centimeters. So, therefore, the length of the diagonal 2 is equals to 50 centimeters. So, actually, kahit hindi mo na isolve, basta ganito lang kasimple ang given. And of course, kung alam mo yung property na involved sa problem, maibibigay mo agad ang measure. Now, let's proceed to number 5. Given kite hope or HOPE with diagonals measure HP is equals to 11 centimeters and the measure of OE is equals to 30 centimeters. What is the area of the kite? Okay, so first, let's draw a kite. HOPE. Okay, so ang shorter diagonal niya ay 11 centimeters, which is yung HP. So, yun yung nakalagay dito. Tapos, ang longer diagonal niya ay 30 centimeters, which is yung diagonal OE. Okay, so our problem is to find the area of the kite. So, recall natin na isa sa property ng kite ay yung area daw ng kite is half the product of its diagonal. Okay, so which means, to get the area of the kite, okay, so i-multiply lang natin yung diagonal 1 sa diagonal 2, tapos yung product nila, divide natin sa 2. Yun na yung area ng kite. Okay, so isa-substitute lang natin, area is equals to yung diagonal 1 natin, 11, tapos yung diagonal 2 natin is 30 centimeters divided by 2. 11 times 30 is 330 divided by 2 is equals to 165 square centimeters. So, ito yung area ng kite. Okay, next, punta tayo sa assimilation part sa inyong learner's packet. Okay, so ito yung mga problems na sasagutan nyo. Pero, katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, doon sa engagement na part ng inyong learner's packet, papalitan ko rin lang din dito yung mga given. Pero, ito pa rin yung gagamitin kong problem. Okay? So, let's start sa problem number 1. A tablecloth is cut into a parallelogram in which two opposite angles measures 6x minus 23 degrees and 4x plus 33 degrees. So, find the measures of all the angles. Okay, so first, let's draw a parallelogram. And one of its angle measures daw 6x minus 23 degrees. At yung opposite angle naman niya, measure 4x plus 33 degrees. Okay, find the measures of all the angles. Okay, so ang gagawin muna natin bago natin mahanap yung lahat ng angles, so kailangan muna natin isolve yung x. Okay, pag nahanap na natin yung value ng x, isa-substitute muna natin sila dito para mahanap natin yung exact measure ng mga angle na ito. So, i-recall muna natin na isa sa mga property ng parallelogram ay yung opposite angles niya are congruent. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, itong angle na to, at saka yung opposite angle nila are congruent or same in measure. So, ito yung magiging equation niya. 6x minus 23 is equal to 4x plus 33. So, as you can see, this equation is in a linear form. And to solve a linear equation, we have to combine first the linear term and then the constant term. Here, the linear terms are 6x and 4x. So, pagsasamahin muna natin sila. So, bring down muna natin si 6x. Kailangan natin ilipat si positive 4x dito sa left side. So, magiging negative 4x. And then, yung mga constant term naman natin na 33 at saka si negative 23, kukombine din natin dito sa right side ng equation. So, bring down muna natin si positive 33. Lipat natin to si negative 23 dito sa right side. So, magiging positive 23. Okay, so, simplify lang natin. 6x minus 4x is equals to 2x and 33 plus 23 is equals to 56. So, divide both sides by 2. Okay, then 2 divided by 2 is equals to x. Then 56 divided by 2 is equals to 28. So, ito yung value ng x natin. So, since meron na tayong value ng x, sa-substitute naman natin ito dito sa mga given na angles to find the exact measure of these two angles. Okay. So, ito yung angle 1 natin, si 6x minus 23. Tapos, yung angle 2 natin, yung 4x plus 33. Palitan lang natin itong mga value ng x na nahanap natin. So, we have, okay, so 6 times 28, yan, minus 23 is equals to 4, tas yung x, 28 plus 33. So, 6 times 28 is equals to 168, then minus 23, then here, 4 times 28 is 112, then bring down 33. So, 168 minus 23 is equals to 145. Then, yung kabila naman, 112 plus 33 is equals to 145 also. So, take note, degrees dahil angles ang mga ito. Okay, so don't forget the units. So, as you can see, pareho 145 sila in measure. Kasi nga, opposite angles sila. And opposite angles are congruent. Palitan lang natin to. So, nahanap na natin yan. So, that is 145. This one is 145. Okay, so dahil ang kailangan natin mahanap ay ang lahat ng angles, sabi dito, all the angles, sabi, parallelogram. So, kailangan din natin alamin yung dalawa pang pairs of its opposite angles. So, ito yun. Okay, so paano natin gagawin yun? So, since alam na natin ang isang angle ay 145 at ang hahanapin natin ito, at kung mapapansin ninyo, yung relationship nilang dalawa, they are consecutive angles. Ang sabi dito sa isang property ng parallelogram about consecutive angles, they are supplementary. So, pangalanan natin muna yung angle na isosolve natin as y para mas madali na natin masolve mamaya. So, you can use any letters or variables to represent your unknown angles. Okay, so yan, y lang gagamitin ko. So, ito yung magiging equation niya, y plus 145 is equals to 180. So, paano natin na-come up ng equation? Itong y, ito, plus yung 145, ito. So, sabi ko nga kanina, ang relationship nila ay consecutive angles. At, ang consecutive angles daw ng parallelogram ay supplementary. Ibig sabihin, ang total ng dalawang angles nila dapat ay 180 degrees. So, solve lang natin yung y. Bring down y and bring down 180. Then, positive 145, ililipat natin. So, magiging negative 145. And 180 minus 145 is equals to 35 degrees. So, therefore, yan. So, CY ay, okay, so, ibig sabihin, ito ay 35 degrees. And of course, dahil ang opposite niya, ito, at opposite angles are congruent, so 35 din yung measure ng opposite angles niya. Okay, next. Problem number 2. One lateral face of the roof of the school building is trapezoid in shape. One of the bases of this trapezoid is 4 meters longer than the other base. Find the length of the two bases if the median measures 8 meters. Okay, let's draw a trapezoid. Sabi dito, one of the base of the trapezoid is 4 meters longer than the other base. So, since walang binanggit na measure ng isang base dito, kaya we will represent the other base as x. So, ito yun. While the other one is x plus 4. Kasi longer, so plus 4. Okay, so tapos, ang median naman niya ay 8 meters. Okay, so find the length of the two bases. So, ito yung hahanapin natin. Ano yung exact measure ng dalawang base ng trapezoid na ito? First, hanapin natin yung value ng x. Tapos, pag nahanap na natin yung value ng x, isa-substitute natin siya dito at saka dito. At yun yung magiging exact measure ng mga base na ito. So, gamitin natin ulit yung formula ng median ng trapezoid. Yan. So, substitute lang natin. So, yung median natin is 8. Then, yung base 1 natin is x plus, yung base 2 natin is x plus 4. And then, divided by 2. So, ang gagawin natin is, simplify muna natin ito. So, bring down muna natin yung 8. Then, x plus x is equals to 2x. Then, plus 4. Then, divided by 2. Nilagyan ko dito ng 1. So, ito-cross multiply lang natin to. Okay, so 1 times 2x plus 4 is equals to 2x plus 4 and 8 times 2 is equals to 16. So, bring down muna natin si 2x. Then, bring down 16. Ilipat natin si positive 4, magiging negative 4. Then, 16 minus 4 is equals to 12. Divide both sides by 2. So, x is equals to 6. Dahil yung base 1 natin ay na-represent natin as x, ibig sabihin, eto ngayon ay equals to 6. Okay, and then yung base 2 natin, which is x plus 4, so papalitan lang natin itong x ng 6. Magiging ganito na siya. So, 6 plus 4 is equals to 10. So, ito naman yung measure ng pangalawang base natin. Next, let's proceed to problem number 3. A rectangular garden has a perimeter of 48 feet. Its length is 3 feet less than twice the width. What is the area of the garden? Okay, so let's draw first a rectangle. Kasi rectangular garden. So, rectangle and yung perimeter daw niya is 48 feet. Tapos, ang length niya ay, syempre, itong mahaba. So, ang length niya ay 3 feet less than twice the width. Okay, question, may binigay bang measurement ang width? Okay, wala. Therefore, yung width natin, i-represent natin siya as x. Tapos, ang magiging length na niya ay, so since nasabi dito, ang length daw is twice the width. So, 2x, then less 3. So, 2x minus 3. So, yan yung length naman natin. Kailangan muna natin hanapin uli yung value ng x. Tapos, isa-substitute natin ito sa width at saka dito sa length. Para ma-solve naman natin yung area ng garden. At dahil ang isang given natin ay perimeter, so ang gagamitin muna nating formula ay yung perimeter. 2 times etong length, 2x minus 3, then plus 2 times width, which is yung x, yung width natin ay x, is equals to, yung perimeter natin given naman, 48. Okay, so i-simplify lang natin yan. So 2 times 2x is equals to 4x, and then 2 times negative 3 is equals to negative 6. Then plus 2 times x is equals to 2x. Then bring down 48. So, i-combine lang natin yung mga linear term, which is yung 4x at saka 2x. So, 4x plus 2x is equals to 6x. And then, ililipat lang natin tong constant term, si negative 6, dito sa kabilang side ng equation to combine the 48. So, 48 plus 6. Okay, so bring down 6x, and 48 plus 6 is equals to 54. Divide both sides by the coefficient of x, which is yung 6. So, divide x is equals to 54 divided by 6 is equals to 9. Okay, so, since na-represent natin yung width natin as x, so therefore, ang width natin ay 9. And then yung length natin, which is yung 2x minus 3. So, papalitan lang natin itong x ng 9. Yun ang magiging length natin. So, 2 times 9 minus 3, it's 18 minus 3 is equals to 15. Let's find out now the area of the garden. So, the formula of area is equals to length times feet. So, i-multiply lang natin yung nahanap nating length and width. So, 15 times 9 is equals to 135 square feet. So, yan po yung area ng rectangular garden. Okay, next. Problem number 4. A tabletop is an isosceles trapezoid in shape. The median is 8.5 decimeter and one of its legs measures 4.5 decimeter. If one of the tabletop bases is 3 decimeter more than the other, find its perimeter. Okay, so let's draw an isosceles trapezoid. At ang median niya daw ay 8.5 decimeter and one of its leg is 4.5 decimeter. So, since isosceles trapezoid yan, ibig sabihin yung kabilang leg niya ay 4.5 decimeter din. Kung ang isang base daw ay measures 3 decimeter more than the other, ibig sabihin ng isang base, i-represent natin as x kasi wala naman itong binanggit na measurement. Okay, kaya yung isa ay x plus 3 kasi more than the other, so x yung isang base na yon. The problem is to find the perimeter of this tabletop. Okay, so, apply natin uli ang formula ng median of a trapezoid. Okay, so base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2. So, isa-substitute lang natin uli yung mga given dito. So, ang median natin is 8.5 is equals to yung base 1 natin is x, yung base 2 natin is x plus 3, then divided by 2. Okay, so simplify lang natin to. So, bring down muna natin si 8.5, then x plus x is equals to 2x, then 3 divided by 2. Ilagyan lang natin ng 1, and then i-cross multiply lang natin yan. So, 1 times 2x plus 3 is equals to 2x plus 3, then 8.5 times 2 is equals to 17. Then, linear equation na siya. Bring down natin si 2x. Then, lipat natin yung positive 3 sa right side ng equation. So, magiging 17 minus 3. So, 2x is equals to 17 minus 3 is equals to 14 divided by 2. So, we have x is equals to 7. Therefore, dahil ang isang base natin ay nirepresent natin as x, so ibig sabihin, yung isang base natin ay 7. Okay, so base 1 natin is 7. Ito yun. And then, yung pangalawang base natin, yung base 2 natin, yan. So, ang base 2 natin, x plus 3. So, papalitan lang natin itong x ng 7. Then, i-add natin sa 3. Yun na yung measure ng base 2 natin, which is 10. So, palitan lang natin yung measure dito sa base 2 ng 10. To find the perimeter, i-add lang natin lahat ng measurement ng side ng trapezoid nito. Okay, so we have perimeter 7 plus 10 plus 4.5 plus 4.5 is equals to 26 decimeter. Okay, so yan yung perimeter ng number 4. Number 5, the area of the paper used by William in making of his kite is 60 square inches, and one of its diagonals is 2 inches less than the other diagonal. Find the length of the two diagonals. Let's draw a kite. Ang area daw ng kite na to ay 60 square inches. One of its diagonal measures 2 inches less than the other diagonal. So, since hindi binanggit yung measure ng isang diagonal, so we will represent the other diagonal by x. So, yung diagonal 1x, as in diagonal 2 natin is x minus 2 kasi 2 inches less than the other diagonal. Okay, so gamitin natin uli yung formula ng area ng kite. So, we have area is equals to diagonal 1 times diagonal 2 is equals to, divided by 2. Okay, so substitute natin, ang area is 60, then is equals to, yung diagonal 1 natin is x, times diagonal 2x minus 2 divided by 2. Okay, so simplified muna natin to. So, x, bring down muna natin si 60. X times x is x squared. Then, x times negative 2 is negative 2x over 2. Okay, so ang next, lagyan lang natin ng 1 at i-cross multiply natin. So, 1 times x squared minus 2x and then 60 times 2. Okay, so x squared minus 2x is equals to 120. As you can notice, naging quadratic equation na siya. Quadratic equation kasi yung highest degree niya dito ay 2. Okay, so ang gagawin natin, ililipat muna natin itong 120 dito sa left side ng equation, kaya magiging x squared minus 2x minus 120 is equals to 0. So kung naaalala pa yung kung paano isolve ang isang quadratic equation, so there are 4 different ways to solve a quadratic equation. Pero dito, gamitin na natin yung factor. Ano ang factor ng negative 120 na kapag inad natin ay negative 2x or negative 2 ang magiging sagot niya? Okay, so tama. Ang factor ng negative 120 is negative 12 and positive 10. Negative 12 times positive 10 is equals to 100. Negative 120, negative 12 plus 10 is equals to negative 2. Yan. So, sana naaalala pa kung paano mag-factor. Okay, next. Applying the zero product property of equality, as we said, each factor equal to 0. So, since ito yung dalawang factor, set lang natin siya equal to 0. So, we have x minus 12 is equal to 0. Yung isa, x plus 10 is equals to 0. And then, to find x, so ililipat lang natin itong negative 12 dito sa right side, tas itong positive 10 dito din sa right side ng equation. So, we have x is equals to positive 12 and x is equals to negative 10. Okay. So, ma'am, paano yan? Dalawa po yung value ng x. Alin dyan ang gagamitin? Okay, syempre, ang gagamitin natin yung positive value lang ng x, which is yung 12. Okay, so dahil ang diagonal 1 natin ay ni-represent natin as x, ibig sabihin itong diagonal 1 natin ay 12 inches. Tapos, yung diagonal 2 naman natin na merong given na x minus 2, so papalitan lang natin itong x ng 12. So, 12 minus 2 is equals to 10. So, ibig sabihin, yung diagonal 2 natin is equals to 10. Okay, so, dito, so 12 and 10, so of course, yung diagonal 2, which is yung 10, yun yung shorter na diagonal natin. Tsaka yung 12, yun yung longer na diagonal natin. Okay, so, yan. This ends my presentation. I hope nakatulong sa inyo. Bye. Thank you for watching.